provided by the Yawkey Foundation.
By Bell Atlantic, your guide through the wiles of communications.
And by Fleet Financial Group, an official sponsor of Major League Baseball.
Vaughn provided Red Sox fans with many thrills while he established himself as a Major League star in a Boston uniform. Tonight, he returns to Fenway Park for the first time as a visitor. Live from Fenway Park, the JCS New England Television Network presents exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball. Tonight, the Red Sox play host to the Anaheim Angels. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sean McDonough along with Jerry Remy. Glad to have you with us for a much-anticipated night here at Fenway Park. A big crowd on hand and a huge media contingent, all because Scott Hatteberg is coming off the disabled list tonight. Actually, he is returning to active duty tonight, and Creighton Gubanek has been sent down to Pawtucket. But obviously, the big news tonight is the return of Vaughn, who spent most of 8 seasons with the Red Sox, his entire Major League career prior to this year with Boston. He had 230 home runs. The big question tonight, Jerry, is what will the reaction be from the fans? We've already seen what the reaction was from his former teammates. It was a hug-a-thon during batting practice and infield.
I think it's going to be the same with the fans, too, Sean. Mo was a very popular player here in Boston, and so some of the things that happened off the field, fans have a way of putting that aside. I remember back when Roger Clemens came back for the first time and pitched against the Red Sox. That was more of a mixed bag, and as the game went on, the fans seemed to come on his side. But I think Vaughn's going to have him right from the beginning. Remember, you know, when Yastrzemski left this ball club, people identified the Red Sox with Kyle Yastrzemski. Same thing with Mo Vaughn over the last couple of years. So, very popular player back in town. I'm looking forward to the weekend.
And adding to the intrigue tonight, the fact that Mo will be taking his swings against the Red Sox best and perhaps the best starting pitcher in the American League, Pedro Martinez on the mound tonight for the Red Sox. It should be a very fun night here at Fenway. We're delighted to have you with us. Pedro will be opposed by Omar Olivares, and the first pitch comes your way in just a moment.
Ah, the possibilities Dodge Caravan opens up. It's a cabin in the woods, complete with heated power recliners. It's your own private ski lodge, or your workshop for building one. It's your place in the sun, complete with guest room and breezeway. Dodge Caravan, the world's most popular home away from home. Now get $1,000 cash allowance or 1.9 financing on Caravan.
These days, at more and more hotels, breakfast is on the house. What's different about our complimentary breakfast is what you have to go through to get it. Embassy Suites, a design for living.
Eastern Clothing of Watertown prides itself in outfitting any man, regardless of size or height. Fred Smirlis, former BC and NFL great.
I'm back. And what keeps me coming back is Eastern Clothing of Watertown's great selection of extra long and tall suits. And if you want to look great, take it from me, your humble host. Come to Eastern Clothing of Watertown for the best suit in town.
Whether you're tall, tough to fit, or a normal size, Eastern Clothing of Watertown can fit you.
Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places and do things you never thought possible. Fly Southwest Airlines. And the big crowd streaming through the turnstiles into Fenway Park on one of the most pleasant nights in terms of the weather that we've had this season in the hub of the universe. And they're all here to see the return of Mo Vaughn And Jerry, it still looks strange to see him in that Anaheim uniform.
And he's already caused quite a reaction here at Fenway. Of course, the media was just unbelievable around that third base dugout prior to the game. As soon as he ran onto the field to stretch and take some wind sprints, there was a reaction to Vaughn, and it'll be that way all weekend.
And the umpires are out at home plate. They want to get this ball game started. It's already 7:05. John Shulock gesturing up to the PA booth saying, let's get it going. But for some reason there is a momentary delay, and we've yet to have the national anthem. So this game is going to be starting several minutes past the usual 5 minutes past the hour. Time now for our national anthem, being performed by the Pampa High School Show Choir from Pampa, Texas. Well, wasn't that terrific? And the big crowd appreciated the performance from the Pampa High School Show Choir from Pampa, Texas. They had a long way to come to perform the national anthem at Fenway Park here tonight. Well, as we mentioned, the umpires are anxious to get going. Darrell Cousins is the home plate umpire. John Shulock at first. Dale Scott at second, and Joe Brinkman, the crew chief, has the plays at third. And the Red Sox take the field for the third game of this homestand. They split 2 games with Texas, winning last night. Some news and notes. We mentioned Scott Hatteberg has been activated off the disabled list. Creighton Gubonic sent down to the minors. We'll give you the rest in a moment, but the crew tells us it's time for the starting lineups, so we'll give them to you. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Darren Erstead, the left fielder, leads off. Matt Walbeck is the catcher. Mo Vaughn, the first baseman, hits third. The cleanup hitter, center fielder Garrett Anderson. Troy Gloss is the third baseman. The DH Todd Green hits sixth. Orlando Palmero in right field. Andy Sheets, the shortstop, hits eighth, and the second baseman Jeff Hewson will hit ninth.
And the defense tonight for the Red Sox, John Valentin will be at third base. Nomar Garcia-Parra, the shortstop. Jose Offerman at second and Mike Stanley at first. Left to right, O'Leary, Buford, and Nixon. Jason Veritek behind the plate. And on the mound, right-hander Pedro Martinez. Pitcher of the month in the American League for the month of April. He is 5-1 on the season. 2.06 ERA is fourth best in the American League. He leads the league in strikeouts with 61, with a very comfortable lead over Aaron Seeley, who's second with 40. Faced the Angels 3 times last year and had a record of 2-0 against Anaheim. There's his last outing against the Athletics, a winner in 7 innings for Martinez.
You mentioned some of the other news the Red Sox are making. Real Cormier's decided to begin his 3-game suspension tonight. He pitched last night and probably wouldn't be available for a couple of days. So Cormier unavailable over the weekend to Jimmy Williams. And still no word on Brett Saberhagen, but Juan Pena has been summoned again from the minors, and the consensus seems to be that Saberhagen will be heading for the disabled list after having to leave another start last night early because of stiffness behind his right shoulder.
Also a chance, Sean, that Pena will get a start over the weekend against the Anaheim Angels. Wakefield will stay in the bullpen, and from what I understand, he will take Saberhagen's spot in the rotation if that does happen, with Saberhagen going on the disabled list.
We're ready to go. Red Sox fans, the local media have been looking forward to this ball game ever since the schedule came out over the winter. Circling the date when Anaheim would be here and Mo Vaughn would return for the first time in an opposing uniform. Darren Erstad off to a slow start, hitting .248, 3 homers and 11 runs batted in. First pitch from Pedro. Well, what do you think was wrong with that one? We're not off to a flying start with Darryl Cousins behind the plate. He was anxious to get going, but apparently not to call strikes. Swing and a miss, and another fastball, 1-1. Breaking ball down and in. One thing working in Pedro's favor, he is facing a depleted Anaheim lineup. This Anaheim team has been affected by injuries more than any other in Major League Baseball. As a result, their record just 13-16. They're last in the American League West. Terry Collins, in his 3rd year as Angels manager, has been without Gary DiSarcina all season, and Jim Edmonds. And of late, Tim Salmon has an injured wrist. He's not in the lineup tonight. Randy Velarde is also ailing and out of action. They have a number of pitchers on the disabled list, so Pedro is certainly not seeing the Anaheim lineup.
They have certainly, throughout their history as a team, have had their share of injuries, but it has really hit hard here early in the season. DiSarcina lost, what, in spring training?
In a freak accident when he was struck by a fungo bat being swung by Coach George Hendrick. Broke a bone in his arm. A bullet down the line off the glove of Stanley. A fair ball. Tracked down by Trot Nixon. And Erstad has a leadoff double. He ripped a 2-2 pitch down the line off the glove of Stanley for a 2-base hit.
Pedro trying to get him out with the breaking ball, the curveball, but down out over the plate, and Erstad hard down that first base line. I think it just deflected off the glove of Mike Stanley, but Erstad in with the leadoff double.
Well, already the fans getting ready to react to Mo Vaughn. Just as he came out of the dugout into the on-deck circle, there was reaction. Here's Matt Wahlbeck, the catcher, batting second, and he chops one foul. Wahlbeck's hitting .274. He has 2 homers and 4 runs batted in. 56 degrees, the game time temperature. Flag not really doing anything at the moment, but when the wind is up, it's out of the east, and that should mean cooler temperatures as the night goes along. Chopped down to third. Valentin was playing in. He looked Erstad back and threw out Wahlbeck, so Wahlbeck didn't get the job done. And now let's listen to the reaction from Mo Vaughn. First pitch from Pedro, a fastball right down the middle. It was interesting when Mo came out for infield, smattering of boos and cheers. When he was introduced in the starting lineups, a mix, but clearly the folks were waiting to make their statement when he came to bat for the first time, and that was an overwhelmingly positive response, a standing ovation. The few boos that could be heard were drowned out. That's a foul ball, not all that far from Pesky's pole. And that's what you expected with Roger Clemens and Wade Boggs. Because of their own individual circumstances, you expected the mixed reaction that they got upon their return, but you figured with Mo it would be more positive, and it was.
This was clearly on Vaughn's side. Standing ovation from the fans here at Fenway.
Many of them still on their feet. But now most of them would like to see him strike out. Martinez to his good friend Vaughn. Foul ball back to the screen.
Kind of adds to the drama, too. You got Mo back for the first night, and you got him facing the best pitcher on the Red Sox, Pedro Martinez.
Mo did have a brief conversation before the game tonight, a couple of hours before the game, with Red Sox CEO John Harrington. They had a very cordial conversation. As far as we know, there was no interaction between Mo Vaughn and Dan Duquette. And we can't be certain of that. Breaking ball, check swing, no swing, said Joe Brinkman. 1-2 on Vaughn. 1 out, a runner at second, no score, just underway in the first.
Well, Mo's still not at 100%. That left ankle still a problem for him. He's just started to play in the field, and that's his push-off leg, the one he sits that weight back on in that stance, and that's going to take a long time, I think, to be completely healthy.
Injured his ankle in the first inning of his first game as an Angel when he toppled down the dugout steps in Cleveland chasing an Omar Vizquel pop-up. Nearly broke his ankle. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that cheer almost as loud as the one that greeted Mo when he came to the plate.
Take a look at the sequence. To Vaughn, a fastball by Pedro for a strike. Another fastball fouled off. Fastball fouled off straight back. Breaking ball down and in. And then the changeup to put him away.
Well, Pedro Martinez got his wish in that he said yesterday he hoped the response to Mo would be overwhelmingly positive. He said the fans should stand and applaud Mo for all he did as a member of the team and all he did in the community when he was playing here. And certainly that is the way the fans responded. Now Martinez trying to get out of a first inning jam as he works to Garrett Anderson, the cleanup hitter, without Sam in the lineup tonight. 1-1 on Anderson, the center fielder, because they're without Jim Edmonds, and they are likely to be without him for most of the season. Darryl Cousins didn't want to call a strike again. 2-1, just 1 for 8 is Anderson against Martinez. Jim Edmonds out with a irritated right shoulder and a strained right groin. They're talking about might be months before he returns.
Some people a little upset about that too. Felt like maybe those problems should have been taken care of in the offseason.
Yeah, he opted not to have surgery, and perhaps he should have. For the 2-2. Fastball down and in. Should Anderson reach, Troy Gloss would hit next against Martinez. There was a lot of talk in the offseason. The Angels were thinking about trading Garrett Anderson. It's a good thing now they did not, with Edmonds out. 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 on the outside corner. After a half inning, the Angels nothing and the Red Sox coming up.
Eyes of a puppy dog, lips made for sin. You're not dreaming. I'm for real. We got a call.
Hello.
Louis?
Yeah?
Louis?
Want to get away? Southwest has your ticket to freedom with Southwest Airlines fun fares that begin at $39.
You are now free to move about the country.
Pep Boys knows how to give you a great deal on tires. They don't run specials on just one size. Pep Boys discounts every size in stock. That means all 35,000-mile tires are 4 for $99. And all 70,000-mile tires are 4 for only $169. Even top-of-the-line 80,000-mile touring tires, all sizes 4 for $199. Call it a bonanza, an extravaganza. It's how you save on tires. Pep Boys.
Cars like us. People love us.
No score after a half inning as Anaheim could not capitalize on a leadoff double by Darren Erstad. They stranded him at second base. Martinez struck out 2 in the first. The Red Sox trying to even their record at 500 to 13-14. Their lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Tonight, Jose Offerman leads off and plays second base. John Valentin, the third baseman, hits second. Reggie Jefferson is the DH. Nomar Garcia-Parra riding a 9-game hitting streak is the shortstop and cleanup hitter. Troy O'Leary in left field. Mike Stanley, the first baseman, hits sixth. Jason Varitek will do the catching. Damon Buford in center field. And the right fielder Trot Nixon hits ninth.
The defense for the Angels: Troy Glass at third base, Andy Sheets the shortstop, Jeff Houston at second, Mo Vaughn at first, Hurstead, Anderson, and Palmeiro in the outfield, Walbeck behind the plate, and Omar Olivares will be doing the pitching. He's been doing a terrific job for the Angels. 3-2, 3.24 ERA. That's 8th best in the American League.
He has an excellent sinker, and it's been working well for him in the early season. He threw ball one outside to Jose Offerman. Complete game victory last time out for Olivares. Offerman lines it to center right at Anderson for the out.
Red Sox hitters can expect Olivares to be around the plate. He's only got 7 walks in his 33 and now 2/3 innings.
John Valentin.
Now John Valentin hitting .212 with 4 homers, 17 runs batted in. He took ball one from Olivares. Valentin happy to see his good pal Mo Vaughn, former college teammate for many years with the Red Sox. Also happy to see the calendar turn to May. He had his typical tough April, and he's shown signs of getting on track here in May. He's behind the count here, 1-2. Now 2-2. Didn't sound like you got all of it. And then it's a fly ball in left center for Erstad. Quickly 2 down in the Boston first.
Olivares coming off a complete game win against the Chicago White Sox in his last outing. He won that ball game 6-3. His first complete game of the season. He's 0-2 in his career against Red Sox clubs.
Reggie Jefferson hitting an even 300. 2 home runs and 4 runs batted in. And he is 6 for 9 lifetime against Omar Olivares. No score with 2 outs and the bases empty in the first. Olivares tied him up. Reggie chopped it foul back to Nomar Garcia-Parra in the on-deck circle. And it's 0-2. The Angels injuries also affecting their starting rotation. Jason Dixon is recovering from right shoulder surgery, as is Jack McDowell. Swing and a miss at a high fastball. And Olivares has an easy 1-2-3 first inning. After 1 at Fenway, no score.
You want to look before you leap, so we built Gateway Country Stores, where the computers are working online and yours to try. Visit our stores or call 1-800-GATEWAY. Get a Gateway Essential PC with an Intel Celeron processor for as low as $28 a month.
The event you've been waiting for is here. The biggest selection of award-winning minivans, from the lowest priced to the ultimate. Now for a limited time during the National Chrysler Plymouth Spring Sales Drive. Get big $1,000 cash allowances, or our lowest APR 1.9, or our lowest lease rates on every award-winning minivan. The National Chrysler Plymouth Spring Sales Drive, for a limited time only. See your Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
You got feet that's wet for a living, and you get athlete's foot. Smart guys know comfort comes in yellow. Destinex. Other guys' feet, they just keep itching and burning, but Destinex Comfort is what keeps you going.
Destinex. Its dual-action formula not only gets rid of athlete's foot fungus, it soothes that itching and burning, surrounding your feet with soothing comfort.
Destinex. soothes while it cures for comfortable feet.
Back at Fenway, no score. Angels, Red Sox after 1 at the John Hancock All-Star Fan Fest, July 9th through the 13th. You can experience baseball in ways you've only dreamed about. Fan Fest tickets are on sale now at the Red Sox ticket office and by calling 617-482-4SOX. Be a part of the 1999 All-Star Experience.
Pedro Martinez, already the only 5-game winner in the American League, trying to win his 6th of the season tonight, facing Troy Gloss. And the young third baseman took a fastball for strike 1. Gloss got off to a terrific start, but he's 4 for his last 27, dropping his average down to 305. And took the breaking ball for strike 2. And Pedro's not the man you want to be facing when you're trying to get out of a slump. He hasn't hit a home run since April 29th. My goodness, high heat. And that's strikeout number 3 for Pedro.
Overmatched that time at the plate. 3 straight pitches. He'll put him away with the high fastball. It seemed to rise. A 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Pedro with already 3 punch-outs. He had 13 in 7 innings last time out against Oakland.
He is firing away the league leader in strikeouts with Aaron Seeley, number 2. Todd Green, the DH, looked at ball 1. He's hitting .243, 5 homers and 16 runs batted in. He hit his 5th homer of the year last night in Detroit off Bryce Flory. And he takes a strike. And he's hot coming in. Last 2 games of that Detroit series. 4 for 7. Slashing, swing and a miss. Pedro 1 strike away from his 4th straight strikeout. With fan Vaughn and Anderson back-to-back to end the 1st. Lost to begin the 2nd. Now he is ahead of Green, 1 and 2. 1 and 3. 4 straight strikeouts for Martinez.
2 changeups, 2 strikeouts tonight with the changeup. This last one coming on the changeup. Also got Mo on the changeup. And fastballs to Anderson and Glass for the strikeout. So he's mixing his pitches. He's already thrown a few curveballs in this game. Against Oakland, didn't throw very many because they had a lot of left-handers in the lineup.
2 quick outs. Orlando Palmeiro, the right fielder, takes a strike. He's in there, as we mentioned. Tim Salmon bothered by a sprained wrist, and that's a break for the Red Sox. He's missed 4 straight games now because of that wrist injury. 0-2 on Palmeiro. Pedro 1 strike away from striking out the side, and from 5 strikeouts in a row. It started out as Mo Vaughn's show, but Pedro is quickly trying to turn it into his. The 0-2 pitch just missed.
Palmeiro with 2 strikes, choking up on the bat. You don't see many players do that anymore.
The 1-2 ran up and in. No score in the 2nd. First of a 3-game series between the Sox and Angels. The crowd wants another strikeout. Palmeiro wanted time. Now the 2-2. Grounded down the line, scooped up by Stanley. On to Martinez for the out that ends the inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Angels. No score after an inning and a half. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the JCS New.
Odor eaters, feet are sweeter, fresher, drier, cleaner, neater. Only odor eaters, insoles, sprays, and powders have genuine Arm & Hammer baking soda. They destroy foot odor and wetness. Odor eaters, feet are sweeter.
Back at Fenway, no score after 2 innings. Angels and Red Sox. The Red Sox fans come to friendly Fenway next week as Ken Griffey Jr. and the Seattle Mariners are in town for a 3-game series. Tickets are still available and can be purchased at the Red Sox ticket office or by calling 24-hour Touchstone Ticketing at 617-482-4SOX. That's 617-482-4SOX.
What was that number?
617-482-4SOX.
All right. Well, Pedro Martinez gave up a leadoff double in the first inning. The Angels haven't had a sniff since. Matter of fact, he's retired 6 in a row, 4 of them via the strikeout. And those 4 strikeouts came in a row. The last 2 batters of the first inning, Vaughn and Anderson. The first 2 batters of the second, Gloss and Green. And last inning, just 12 pitches. He was 1 strike away from striking out the side. Pedro, the pitcher of the month in the American League in April. Deservedly so. Manny Ramirez of Cleveland was the player of the month in close balloting. He won narrowly over his teammate Kenny Lofton and Derek Jeter of the Yankees. Andy Sheets up there with 1 strike. He's hitting .228, 3 homers, 12 runs batted in. No contest, 0-2. Sheets, Houston, and the leadoff hitter Erstad coming up. 1 for his last 10. Sheets. The 0-2. See you later. Up and in. And Sheets was totally overmatched in that one-on-one battle with Martinez.
Now Pedro getting ahead of the count. Then 0-2 goes upstairs again. Similar to what he did to Troy Glass. Same result. The strikeout.
The second baseman, Jeff Houston.
One out. Here's Jeff Houston. Veteran infielder, utility player most of his career, seeing action tonight with Randy Velarde banged up. 172 in limited action for Houston. He has 5 hits this season. None of them homers. He hasn't had a run batted in. He's starting for the 6th time this year. Tonight, also was at second base last night out in Detroit for the Angels, who lost to the Tigers last night. Out of play, 2-1.
Sean, you made the point last inning that Pedro's trying to take over the night. It's almost like he's taking all this energy that's in the ballpark tonight and wants to turn it into his favor.
And there is a great deal of energy in the park tonight. Randy Velarde out of action with a stiff lower back. That's why Houston's in there. He took a ball low.
And Velarde been playing very well too for the Angels.
With 3-1. That hit Pedro on a line. Looked like it got him off the backside. It caromed right to Offerman, who threw him out. Joe Kerrigan, Jimmy Williams up on the top step of the dugout. Jim Rowe creeping out as well, and they're going to make sure Pedro's okay. Looked like it got him in the back of the leg.
It looked like, Sean, after he made his delivery to home plate, he kind of spun around, and it looked like it did catch him off the back. This is a sight that Red Sox do not want to see. They had to do this last night with Saberhagen leaving the ball game after 3. There's not much fat there either to protect Pedro.
No. I think it got him off the back of the leg, perhaps the right leg. Yes, it did.
Yeah, it looked like it was high too, above the knee area, so that's good.
And Pedro weighs, what would you say, about 160 pounds?
Soaking wet.
Yes. Van Erstad, the only Angel to reach base. He doubled down the first baseline and was stranded at second. In the first, Pedro's retired 8 in a row since. 1-0 on Erstad. Down and in. It skipped away from Veritek all the way over to the Boston dugout. 2-0. The pitcher of the month award for April was the first for Martinez as a member of the Red Sox, first in the American League. He was honored once in the National League as a pitcher of the month back in August of 1997. Pedro was dominant. He only lost when he was outdueled by John Snyder of the White Sox, who was off to a terrific start for Chicago. Erstad slashed at it and popped it up along the left field line. Valentin in foul territory ends the inning. 3 up and 3 down against Martinez. He's breezed through 3. There's still no score.
During Adventure 99, Dodge will give you great financing on a Dodge Ram. Or, if you buy a Dodge Dakota, get your choice of a $1,000 cash allowance or a great vacation package worth up to $1,800 at the new Universal Studios Islands of Adventure theme park in Orlando, Florida. It's the adventure of a lifetime, and we have the rides to prove it. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
When your allergies are a nightmare, you need help. You need the power of Zyrtec. Prescription Zyrtec goes to work and lasts 24 hours. In studies, drowsiness was the most common side effect. Others included fatigue and dry mouth. Most were mild or moderate. To learn more, ask your doctor or pharmacist. So when allergies are a nightmare, remember the power of Zyrtec.
Closed captioning is provided by the Yawkey Foundation.
By Bell Atlantic, your guide through the wiles of communications.
And by Fleet Financial Group, an official sponsor of Major League Baseball.
All pitching so far from Fenway as we move to the bottom of the third inning. The 1999 Red Sox season is in full swing, and summer is just around the corner. Come out to friendly Fenway and take in a game in this last season of the century. Plenty of good seats are available and can be purchased 24 hours a day by calling Red Sox Touchstone Ticketing at 617-482-4SOX. We'll see you at Fenway.
Well, you'd hate to have to say we won't see it till next century. That sounds like such a long time from now. Excellent control for both pitchers. They're throwing strikes. Olivares in 2 innings has thrown 17 pitches, 13 of them strikes. His first to Damon Buford is a strike. Buford has put together an 8-game hitting streak. His average now .317 with 10 runs batted in. Buford, Trot Nixon, Jose Offerman coming up. The chopper foul over by the Anaheim dugout and into it.
This is the final day of the 3-game suspension for Darren Lewis, and Buford has done a real nice job filling in, playing against right-handed pitching.
He's way up on the bat handle as he sends one back in this direction. Neiman's hit .364 during that 8-game streak. 0-2 from Olivares, up and away.
Well, clearer skies tonight at Fenway, and the temperature a little bit cooler than it was the last couple of nights.
Yeah, 56 at game time. As the sun disappears, it's getting cooler. Line drive that knocked Olivares down. And that's 9 straight games with a hit for Buford. So Nomar wasted no time extending his hitting streak to 10, and Buford in his first at bat makes his 9.
Hitters taking shots at pitches in this ball game. You saw Martinez get hit off the leg, and now right off the top of the glove of Omar Olivares. Line drive base hit up the middle for Buford.
So the Red Sox have the lead man on. It's a speedy base runner at first. Damon Buford with Trot Nixon up there. Gloss even with the bag at third as Nixon hacks away. And he's frustrated as he chased one out of the strike zone. Trot's average slowly inching up. He's at 148 now with 2 homers and 5 runs batted in. He was 1 for 4 last night against the Rangers and knocked in a run. After starting the season 2 for 33 with an 0 for 24 stretch included. Trot 6 for his last 21. Buford has 2 stolen bases without being caught. The Red Sox have 16 steals as a team in 27 games. The ball up and away. Omar Olivares, 31 years old, native of Puerto Rico, still lives in Puerto Rico in the offseason. Nixon takes an off-speed pitch low and away.
Angels also a ball club that don't run very much. They have fewer stolen bases than the Red Sox. They only have 14 on the season. But they are 3rd in the league in home runs.
Buford back to first.
Action count here, 2 balls, 1 strike. One of the reasons a lot of attention being played to Buford on this count.
Olivares, the kind of pitcher who can induce the double play grounder. He sinks the ball. They turn one behind him last inning to end the inning. The Red Sox threatened with 2 men on and 1 out. Buford runs. Nixon sends it off the glove of Olivares, and they can't make a play. Houston charged, tried to barehand it, but couldn't pick it up. And Nixon is safe. I'd imagine they'd score that a hit, and they have. Even if Houston had fielded it cleanly, it would have been a very close play at first.
Now, if Olivares does not touch this ball, there's a chance that might end up being a double play, even with the runner off at first base. But you see, he'll change directions of the baseball, and they had no chance to get Nixon. So they do play some hit and run on the 2-1, something you would expect. Sean, you mentioned it, ground ball pitcher, double play is a possibility. Put runners in movement.
So now the Red Sox have the first 2 men on. We'll see how Jimmy plays it. He has one of his best hitters up there in Offerman. If you also have Pedro on the mound, if you play for 2 and get 2, that might be enough. Offerman does show bunt. Ran up, though, as if to bunt for a hit. And he took a ball low. Offerman lined out to the center fielder Anderson his first time up.
Yeah, Jose's numbers are very good with men in scoring position, and he's been one of the best hitters on the team. And I think Williams would prefer him to swing the bat. It looked like he was doing that on his own.
The Red Sox do not sacrifice much under Jimmy Williams. Just 3 times all year as a team in 27 games. A ball down and in. That time no sign of a bunt. 2-0 on Offerman. He's been very solid with men in scoring position, hitting .333. John Valentin on deck. Good speed on the bases with Buford at second, Nixon at first. A ball high. 3-0. .30 pitch. Strike at the belt. Offerman's hit in 6 straight. He was 3 for 5 with a double last night against Texas. He's had at least 1 hit in 23 of the first 27 games of this season for the Red Sox. The 3-1. Fouled out of play to the left.
Well, this will be interesting, too. See if they start the runners on the 3-2 count. A little bit dangerous, obviously, if there's a strikeout. You got the left-hander at the plate. But Buford does have good speed at second.
And Nixon with decent speed at first. Offerman doesn't strike out a bunch, just 12 times this year and 112 at bats. You're not letting Buford get a very big lead. The runners do go. It's ball 4 up and in. So Olivares has issued his first walk, and the Red Sox have loaded them up. With nobody out.
Number 13, the third baseman, John Valentin.
John Valentin flied to left his first time up. Ball 1 up and in. Walbeck to the mound. And on his way to the mound, Anaheim pitching coach Dick Pohl, who last year was the Red Sox bullpen coach. Very well liked. Like Mo Vaughn, he got a lot of hugs and back slaps during batting practice from the Red Sox.
It was funny, Sean. He didn't even think about it. You know, thinking all week about Mo coming back to town, and it was awful nice to see Dick Pohl back here this afternoon. You're right. He was very popular in the short time that he was with the Red Sox. Terrific guy, and I'm glad he's back with a nice pitching coach job in the big leagues.
And he should. He did a very good job in San Francisco. And it was difficult to figure out why they didn't keep him on as the pitching coach there, with the success their pitchers had while he was there. The 1-0 is low, so Olivares walked Offerman to load them up, and now he is behind in the count. 2-0. With Valentin, he threw 17 pitches to retire the Red Sox in the first 2 innings. He's thrown 17 this inning without recording it out. Let's see if Valentin's selective on the 2-0. Tough pitch, outside corner.
If there's a such thing as a good take, that was a good take by Valentin. 2-0, that's not where he wants to swing at it. Looking for something middle in. That ball was on the outside corner.
John's been an excellent hitter in his career with the bases loaded. And he drives that one to right. That'll score a run. Palmeiro to catch. The lead runner's tag. Buford scores. Nixon to third, and the Red Sox lead 1-0. As Valentin delivers a sacrifice fly.
Good job by Valentin. Oliveira is certainly a ground ball pitcher. Got something that was a little bit up in the zone and lifted it to the outfield. Kept the ball off the ground, stayed away from the double play, and at least picked up 1 run. Palmeiro goes back about 5 steps, gets it quickly back into second base to keep that double play in order for the Angels.
One out, runners at first and third. Angels infield at double play depth. Reggie Jefferson the hitter. Ball 1 outside. Reggie struck out swinging to end the first, the only strikeout for Oliveras. Reggie's just 1 for 10 this year with men in scoring position. Strike on the outer third. 1-1.
I would expect Offerman at first base to also try to steal a base here.
A number of the Red Sox hitters are hot. The problem lately has been the pitching hasn't been there. I think that's been a source of great frustration for all the Red Sox, Jerry. Early on, the pitching was outstanding. The Red Sox couldn't hit. And then on this last road trip, Red Sox scored a bunch of runs and couldn't pitch.
Yeah, there's not been a time yet this season when they've been able to get both parts of that game together.
They have Offerman picked off. Let's see if Nixon tries to come down the line. Right now he is not. Vaughn looking at Nixon. Here comes Trot to the plate, and he scores. Great job by Offerman to stay in the rundown a long time, and a good read by Nixon, picking his time perfectly to make it 2-0.
Yeah, he really did at third base. He picked the perfect time to head home. As soon as Vaughn started to throw that ball back to the shortstop, that's when he took off, and they had absolutely no chance at all to get him. Good job by Trot Nixon at third base. Sometimes those runners will pick the wrong time to go, the wrong throw, and they're out by a long shot at home.
So now 2 outs and the base is empty, but the run is in, and Reggie chops one foul. Nice play made on a hop by a fan in the front row right behind the on-deck circle. Off-speed pitch ripped through the middle. The third hit of the inning for the Red Sox, the 5th of the night. They now have 2 runs on 5 hits without an error. No runs, 1 hit for Anaheim. And here's a look back at the rundown play.
Right there, you're going to see Offerman. He made the decision that he's going to stop and try to get in that rundown as long as he possibly can. And what you want to do is take off. As soon as Vaughn throws this ball here, there's absolutely no chance at all they're going to get Nixon.
1-3-6-3-4. The scoring on the put out of Offerman. There's Nomar, takes ball 1 down and away. A good backhand stop by Matt Walbeck. Garcia Parra singled to center to extend his hitting streak to 10 games, and he's now hitting .325. From Oliveras is low again, low and away, 2-0.
He looks like a completely different pitcher this inning than the first 2. He's having trouble throwing strikes. When he does throw a strike, Red Sox seem to be hitting it hard.
Saw the graphic. Only Carlos Beltran of Kansas City has a longer active hitting streak in the American League. 11 games with a hit for Beltran. Nomar dribbled one foul off third.
We saw him in that first series of the year at Kansas City. I think he's going to be a pretty good player in the American League.
And he thinks you are a terrific broadcaster, as he told us when we were out there. Well, you're both right on the money. Longest hitting streak in the American League this season is 12 games by Scott Spezio. That one is no longer active. For the Oakland second baseman, that's a bullet foul. Pretty good pitch to hit, and Nomar hit it hard. Unfortunately for the Red Sox, he was just a little bit out in front of it. Longest hitting streak in the majors this season, 19 by Luis Gonzalez of the Arizona Diamondbacks. The 2-2 pitch is pulled to short. Sheets to Houston to end the inning, but the Red Sox get 2. And after 3 at Fenway Park, it's Boston 2 and Anaheim nothing.
New grill guard, Steve? I like it.
Thanks, Sally. I got it at Pep Boys.
Hey, Sally, how about my chrome rims?
Step bars, bug shield, tires, and wheels.
Hey, Sally, hear that? Performance exhaust.
Love accessories? Pep Boys has thousands of them to improve your vehicle, if not your luck.
Hey, Sally! Sally!
Sally moved. Hey, nice tow hitch.
Pep Boys.
Cars like us. People love us.
Mr. Tux and the Boston Red Sox salute education by offering a $5,000 scholarship. So if you're a 1999 high school graduate,
hey, that's me.
Then just visit your nearest Mr. Tux and fill out the application.
So Mr. Tux and the Red Sox are offering a $5,000 scholarship, as in college scholarship?
That's right.
And all I gotta do is fill out this application and I'm eligible?
You're already in Mr. Tux to order your prom tux, so just finish filling out that application and that's it.
This is cool.
Yes, this is cool.
Nothing tops ice cream better than Hershey's chocolate syrup. So feel free to pour it on. But do watch out for those cherries.
Back at Fenway Park in Boston, a 2-0 Red Sox lead after 3 innings. Plus the big news tonight, Mo Vaughn coming back to Fenway, the first at bat. Standing ovation for Mo. He acknowledges the crowd here at Fenway, thanks him for that applause, and then Pedro strikes him out with the changeup. Martinez, 5 strikeouts so far in the ball game. The sacrifice fly by Valentin to give him the 1-run lead. Nomar's extended his hitting streak to 10 games, and of course you just saw the strikeout of Mo. He will bat again here in the 4th.
Number 6.
Against Pedro, who has retired 9 straight since Darren Erstad led off the ball game with a double. He's been the only base runner for Anaheim through the first 3 innings. Martinez has struck out 5 without issuing a walk. Here's Matt Wahlbeck, who chopped to third his first time up. Failed to advance the runner Erstad from second. He tried to pull that one and bounced it foul. Deal 1, breaking ball stayed high. Wahlbeck, then Mo Vaughn, and Garrett Anderson against Martinez. Good changeup from Pedro. Now Wahlbeck bothered by a bug or something. Hasn't been warm enough yet to have insects. Has it?
I think it might have been a beach ball out there.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Had a few of those the last couple of nights. It's not warm enough for those either.
No, it hasn't been beach ball weather either. The 1-2 pitch. Line toward the gap in left center. That's in for a hit. Buford hustling over. Great sliding stop to prevent it from getting to the wall. What a great play by Buford. He hustled and got over there to prevent it from getting to the wall and held Wahlbeck to a long single.
Well, if that's not a double, I mean, in most games, what a terrific play here by Buford. He's played some great defense. Last night he threw Rodriguez out at second base on a fly ball, and there you see Wahlbeck putting on the brakes. Terrific play by Buford in center field.
A little bit more of a mixed reaction this time from Mo. A lot of times in these situations, Jerry, it seems the Boo Birds are more determined to have their point made sooner or later, whereas the folks who are going to stand and cheer made their point clearly the first time. Vaughn struck out swinging his first time up. He's the tying run at the plate. The Angels have their second hit on the Walbeck single. Mo takes ball one. Pretty good pitch by Martinez.
I think it'll be the same reaction every day of this series, Sean. I think that first time up will be the standing ovation, and now all of a sudden Mo's the enemy in the next at bat.
Shortened delivery by Martinez with Walbeck at first. Even though Walbeck's the catcher, he will run occasionally. Two balls, no strikes. Red Sox lead 2-0 in the top of the fourth. The 2-0 pitch is low.
Pedro going to the curveball that time on the 2-0 count to Vaughn.
And we've talked a lot this season about will Nomar get pitches to hit without Mo in the lineup. And talking to the Angel broadcast before the game, they said the last couple of days without Sam in the lineup, Mo has not been seeing very many good pitches to hit. The 3-0 pitch. He had the green light. He chopped it down to first. Stanley throws wildly, and safe at second is Walbeck. The throw well off the bag to the center field side. And Stanley might have been better served just getting that out at first base.
Yeah, I think you're right, Sean. From this position where he makes his play going toward the line, he's probably better off just getting the out at first. That becomes a difficult play to spin all the way around. And then you see the wild throw. If the throw's on target, they're going to have the out. But a lot of times in that situation, you'll take that sure out at first base.
And they've charged an error on Stanley. The first error of the night by either team. And 1-0 the count on Garrett Anderson. All of a sudden he's the go-ahead run at the plate with nobody out in the fourth. A single by Walbeck. Vaughn reaches. And now here's Anderson. Fastball missed. 2-0. If you're wondering, Trot Nixon is not credited with the steal of home on that play in which Hoffman was picked off and Nixon came down from third and scored. It's simply a fielder's choice. They made the choice to get off of him. And no stolen base for Nixon. But he did score to make it 2-0, and that's the margin right now in the fourth. The 2-0 to Garrett Anderson. Big hack and a line foul back to the screen. He's been a hot hitter. Hasn't hit for a lot of power over his career. More of a line drive gap hitter. The 2-1 pitch. Just a little bit low. Pedro's in danger of loading them up. Anderson this year has hit for power. It's 6 home runs, including one off C.J. Nitkowski last night. He had a look at Troy Gloss, a dangerous hitter in the on-deck circle. The 3-1 pitch. He swung at ball 4. A full count on Garrett Anderson. Outfield around to the left. Some room in right center for Anderson, who fights one off. Let's pause for station identification. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the JCS New England Television Network.
You're watching WLVI WB56, Cambridge, Boston.
At Fenway Park on a comfortable Friday night, the Red Sox lead 2-0. The 3-2 pitch And another foul ball. Sean McDonough with Jerry Remy. Tonight's telecast produced by Pat Cavanaugh. Directed by Bob Whitelaw, who is the executive producer of the JCS New England Television Network. And we hope your weekend is off to a great start. It certainly has been entertaining here with Pedro pitching against the Angels and with the return of Vaughn. Another payoff pitch. Strike 3 with the changeup. Strikeout number 6 for Martinez.
Well, that was a good battle there put on by Anderson. Fouled off a couple of nasty pitches, but Pedro stayed nasty on him. He'll stay with that changeup on the 3-2 count and pick up the big strikeout. Just has so much confidence in that pitch. He'll throw it at any time in the count.
One out. Red Sox infield at double play depth. Valentin very deep at third for Troy Gloss, who struck out swinging his first time up. Breaking ball in the dirt and a good stop by Veritek. Outfield way around toward right, as you can see. They give Gloss some room in left center. Troy's just 22 years old, native Californian. Just a little bit low. Gloss made it to the major leagues for the first time last year as he bounced quickly up the ladder. Started the year in Double-A, went to Triple-A, and then up to the Angels. Played in 48 games at the end of last year.
Once again, probably called up earlier than expected because of injuries. Dave Holland's having some physical problems and also making a lot of errors throwing the ball at first base. Gloss came in and impressed everybody in the short time that he was with the Angels.
He had a terrific career at UCLA. Led them to the championship game of the College World Series in 1997. As a junior at UCLA, he had 34 home runs to set the Pac-10 record, breaking Mark McGuire's record. Up the middle, a base hit. Out of the reach of Garciaparra. Walbeck waved around third. Buford winds up and throws. Not in time. And Anaheim is on the board. He's out. He missed the plate apparently, and Veritek hustled back and tagged him out. An alert play by the Boston catcher, and Anaheim is not on the board as Walbeck is out at home.
I think Veritek blocked the plate and never gave Walbeck a chance to get a piece of it. Watch that leg for Veritek. He kicks it away from home plate, right over the plate. Now he knows that, goes back and tags him right away. What a terrific play by Veritek. He does that a lot. Saw this throw coming in, Sean. You felt like saying, why did he even bother throwing it there?
You know, Jerry, I think if it had been low, Stanley would have cut it off.
Exactly. Veritek is not afraid to get that leg or foot out in front of that bag to block it, and boy, it certainly paid off that time.
And you can see in the slide, Walbeck gave the indication he knew he didn't have the plate either because he was reaching back for it with his left hand after this contact with the foot. See the left arm come back there for it. And give Darrell Cousins, the umpire, credit as well. So the shutout bid still intact. A base hit for Gloss, and Walbeck cut down 8-2 at the plate.
Cousins stayed with the play, and no argument at all from Walbeck. He knew he didn't get a piece of it.
Vaughn went to second on the play, so it's first and second. 2 outs. Now the 1-1 pitch to Todd Green. And that's one of the best fastballs of the night from Pedro, up to 94 miles per hour, 1-2. Veritek is much improved defensively, Jerry, in every way this year, it seems.
He's had just a terrific time behind that plate. The more and more he plays, the better he gets. Made a great play last night on a foul ball heading toward the stands.
He has played a great deal this year with Scott Hatteberg injured. Hatteberg has returned to active duty tonight. The 1-2 pitch. He struck him out with a laser beam on the outside corner. Seven strikeouts for Martinez and his shutout bid intact with plenty of help from his battery mate. A strong throw by Buford and a great block of home by Jason Veritek. It's 2-0 Red Sox heading to the home half of the fourth.
brings me a toy from Chicago.
I know, sweetie, but he doesn't have to go through Chicago anymore. He gets to come straight home and play with you.
But I always get a toy when he stops.
But Daddy flies Delta now on all his business trips from Boston.
But they're non-stop!
Of all the airlines in Boston, Delta has the most nonstops to the most places. We think most of you will be pleased. Delta Airlines, nonstop, nonstops.
When it comes to engineering, even the slightest error can dramatically affect performance and lead to trouble down the line. With that in mind, Toyota created Avalon. And from the engine to the interior, this attention to detail is everywhere. Higher quality lowers repair costs and improves reliability. It makes Avalon a better value to begin with and worth more later on. When it's put together properly, it works every day. 1999 Toyota Avalon.
Can I help you?
Yes, hi. Can we have... Come on, kids. Mommy's ordering 4 of your new chocolate culottes.
Sure thing. Here you go.
Thanks a lot. Be quiet, guys. Come on. Sorry about that. No, kids.
Having a chocolate craving, are we? Try the new Dunkin' Donuts Chocolate Culotta.
A cannon, the largest ever conceived.
The resistance will be crushed. Earth, final conflict.
Saturday at 9 on WB 56.
Troy O'Leary, the leadoff batter here in the 4th inning for the Red Sox. They try to build on a 2-0 lead against Omar Olivares. O'Leary, Stanley, and Varitek coming up. Troy fly to center his first time up, now hitting .269. Check swing. It's a strike, says Darrell Cousins. They did not need the appeal down to Joe Brinkman. Troy had a very big swing, and he had a little pop-up into shallow right. Hewson, the second baseman, 1 out.
Number 24.
Well, Jerry, bad news for fans of the Inane Panther hotline. The phone is not functioning all that well tonight, so we may not be able to make a phone call tonight.
So we get that work done overnight. I think
we're going to work on that in time for tomorrow. We have a lot of phone calls planned. Pat Kavanaugh, our producer, tells us the Inane technicians will be working on that. Stanley singled to left his first time up, bidding for another. He pulled that foul. Stanley trying to make certain the bat is not cracked. Red Sox just announced moments ago that Brett Saberhagen has been placed on the 15-day disabled list with the stiffness in his right shoulder that reappeared last night in the middle of his start. And Juan Pena has been summoned again from Pawtucket. Red Sox list Tim Wakefield as a starter tomorrow, but Jerry's thought is that we could see young Mr. Pena tomorrow. Fly ball to shallow right. Palmeiro the catch. Think he might have thought that was the 3rd out of the inning, but he recovered quickly. 2 down. There's Juan Pena.
Number 47.
Second time called up to the Red Sox. Did not pitch the first time he was called up, but I have a sneaking suspicion that he may be pitching very soon.
Is that a scoop? We like to trumpet our scoops.
Sources. They call it sources.
Sources
right?
tell you.
Well, if we see Wakefield out in the bullpen at some point in this game, it's a pretty good bet that you'll see Pena start tomorrow.
Tim Wakefield is the pitcher listed by the Red Sox to be the starter tomorrow. Jason Varitek, the batter, 2-0 the count. Juan Pena is just 21 years old. He'll be making his major league debut if indeed he starts tomorrow. Varitek grounded into a 4-6-3 double play to win the second. Slashing swing and a miss. The Angels have Tim Belcher on the mound tomorrow. Boy, has he had a tough time for Anaheim. But he has been very tough on the Red Sox in recent seasons.
Yeah, he has done some terrific pitching against the Red Sox.
There was some talk that he might come to Boston the offseason. The Red Sox considered signing him as a free agent. Varitek takes a strike. Belcher tomorrow for Anaheim. Ken Hill, the Lynn native, Sunday for the Angels against Mark Portugal. We'll have all 3 games this weekend in this series for you. Ball 4 low. Varitek walks. The second walk yielded by Omar Olivares.
Now, as I mentioned, Olivares usually with extra control, averaging about 2 walks per 9 innings. Already now with the 2 in this ball game.
Damon Buford singled and scored the Red Sox first run last inning. He made a couple of terrific defensive plays in this game. Ball 1 high from Olivares. Red Sox 2, the Angels nothing in the 4th. Varitek at first with 2 outs. Damon chased one low and out of the strike zone. Interestingly, Jerry, Olivares did not have good control last year. He walked 91 hitters in 183 innings. That comes out to just about 4.5 per ball game. A lot more than he has yielded this year. And that's pulled foul. Buford, the son of a major leaguer, Don Buford, the Oriole outfielder, and Omar Olivares' dad played for the St. Louis Cardinals. Ed Olivares played for the Cardinals in the early 60s. Little pop fly in shallow center. Anderson to end the inning. After 4, the Red Sox lead 2-0.
Want to get away? Southwest has your ticket to freedom with Southwest Airlines fun fares that begin at $39.
You are now free to move about the country.
We know a lot of you want to look before you leap, so we built Gateway Country Stores where the computers are working online and yours to try. Visit our stores or call 1-800-GATEWAY. Get a Gateway Essential PC with an Intel Celeron processor for as low as $28 a month.
Back at Fenway, the Red Sox 2, the Anaheim Angels nothing. As we mentioned, we'll have the rest of the series for you over most of these stations. 1 o'clock starts tomorrow and Sunday. Then the Seattle Mariners invade with Ken Griffey Jr. for night games Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. All 3 games on Nesson. The Red Sox are off on Thursday. They head to Toronto next weekend. Let's check the scoreboard now. In the American League, Tampa Bay leads Cleveland 4-0. Fred McGriff has hit a 2-run homer. He's on a home run tear. He now has 11. Baltimore, looking for its 5th straight win, leads Detroit 6-0. Charles Johnson, a 2-run homer. Albert Bell, a 3-run blast. Toronto leads Texas 5-2. Carlos Delgado, a 2-run homer. No score in the rest of the games. Seattle at New York, Oakland, Chicago, Kansas City at Minnesota. Here it's 2-0 Boston. Orlando Palmeiro, the leadoff hitter in the 5th against Pedro Martinez. He took ball 1, and now he lines one to center, a base hit.
Pedro gave him a long look as he was heading down that first base line, like he couldn't believe that he got that base hit off him.
The shortstop.
Another little peek at him. That's Pedro after the ball goes by. There's a hard line drive up the middle, and he just won't take his eyes off Palmeiro all the way down that first baseline.
I wonder if they have a history.
May start tonight.
Yeah. Andy Sheets, first ball swinging, pops it up. That'll be in the seats. Sheets overmatched in his first at bat against Martinez. He struck out. Pedro has 7 strikeouts. On the subject of strikeouts, at this ballpark for Pedro and other parks around baseball, frequently fans will post the Ks for strikeouts recorded by the home team pitcher. The letter K used in the scoring of baseball to indicate a strikeout. We had a letter from the great Red Sox fan, Agnes McCann of Cambridge, Massachusetts, who wanted to know why the letter K is used to indicate a strikeout. Foul straight back. If we had the inane banter hotline, we would call Agnes and give her the answer. But my understanding has always been that S is used for several other scoring indications in baseball, sacrifice, stolen base, etc. K, being a prominent letter in the middle of strikeout, was chosen so that we didn't have too many S's and become confusing when you're scoring. Does that sound right to you? Swing and a miss. Sheets strikes out for the second time. Post another K for Agnes out there. And although there is no K in Agnes, but there's one for her, the 8th of the night.
Curveball this time to pick up the K. Second time that he's got Sheets in the ball game.
Makes sense to me, Sean. I'd never really given that any thought, but
that's what I had heard, and I went over and asked Jerry Trupiano and Joe Castiglione, and they said yes, that's what they had heard as well. There were too many S's already involved in scoring, so they went for the letter K because it's in the middle of strikeout and it sort of jumps out as a prominent letter.
Well, they would know because they read books.
Yes, they do.
I do not. Sometimes.
No, you do. Magazines. You're more of a magazine guy. Jeff Houston, the batter, he grounded out his first time up. One out, a runner at first. The runner is Orlando Palmeiro, being held on by Stanley. It's 2-0. Red Sox in the 5th inning. Well hit, base hit. And the bottom part of the order doing some damage to Pedro here. Houston is 1 for 2. First and second with 1 out for Anaheim.
Well, he carried that 172 batting average coming into the game, but hit the ball hard twice. The first time off Pedro that deflected too off from him. This time he picks up the base hit.
So the Angels have now tied the Red Sox in hits, but the Red Sox still have the 2-0 lead.
Each team with 5 hits. The only extra base hit for Anaheim. Matter of fact, the only extra base hit in the ball game belongs to Darren Erstad, who doubled as the first batter of the night down the right field line. He was stranded at second. Throw to second. A little bit off the mark. Nomar had to reach for it. Palmeiro back safely. We hope that answer is right for Agnes. If it isn't, that's the best we can do with our limited knowledge. Good dig by Veritek on a pitch in the dirt, and here comes Joe Kerrigan to the mound.
Pedro's control a little bit off here this inning as Veritek has to backhand this ball in the dirt.
Pedro's thrown 73 pitches. He wants to chat some more with Veritek. The runner at second, Orlando Palmeiro. At first, Jeff Houston. 1 ball to count on Darren Erstad. And the pitch grounded down to Stanley. He thought about second after the problem a moment ago. Just decided to take the out at first. Now the tying run is at second base as the runners advance. Palmeiro to third, Houston to second. Erstad is now 1 for 3.
After this play, Nomar Garcia-Parra is getting Stanley's attention and telling him you did the right thing, because from where that runner is, there's a chance that ball might have hit him in the back, and it was not a clear view between Stanley and Garcia-Parra. Stanley takes the sure out at first base, and sometimes you're not sure if you've made the correct play, and Nomar telling Stanley, yes, you did.
Now a base hit could tie it up for Anaheim. Matt Walbeck pops it right back over our heads. Walbeck grounded to third in the first inning. Last inning he singled into the gap in left center. Looked like a certain double, but Damon Buford sprinted over, hustling all the way, prevented it from getting to the wall, slid on a knee on the warning track, and got it back into second to hold Walbeck to a very long single. But another single would likely tie it. The 0-1, strike 2. Martinez has had at least 9 strikeouts in every outing this season prior to tonight. This would be his 9th. If he could punch out Walbeck. Ball 1 was up and in.
Like Walbeck was thinking about keeping that elbow in there and getting hit off the arm on that pitch. He did not move it very quickly.
One way to get off the hook. It was smart, though, to take a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, unless he has some padding there. Little chopper down the first base line. Stanley makes the play himself, and Martinez has shut out the Anaheim Angels through 5. Halfway through the ballgame, the Red Sox 2, and the Angels nothing.
Over the years, a lot of businesses have put their names on one line of trucks, the one that's overall the most powerful line of pickups on the road, the one that was first to offer quad cab versatility, and the first and only full-size pickup to receive J.D. Power & Associates' Most Appealing Award 4 years running. We understand this name thing. We're pretty fussy about what we put ours on, too. Dodge Ram. The rules have changed.
A hotel phone, a fax and modem are not enough to feel connected. Embassy Suites, a design for living.
Call it a bonanza, an extravaganza. It's how you save on tires. Now at Pep Boys, all 35,000-mile tires are 4 for only $99, and all 70,000-mile tires 4 for $169.
Pep Boys.
Cars like us.
People love us.
Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places and do things you never thought possible. Fly Southwest Airlines. Looks like traffic is moving swiftly through the great city. 2-0 Red Sox after 4.5. Well, Sunday's going to be a fun day here in the hub of the universe, the Athens of America, Boston, Massachusetts, with the Red Sox entertaining the Angels, and with the Bruins hosting the Buffalo Sabres. Great win for our Bruins last night.
Yeah, they stepped up certainly in that first game. That was terrific, and I guess it was pretty exciting over at the Fleet Center last night.
Perhaps a bit too much excitement from the standpoint of the fans. Nixon chopped one on the right side, and Houston threw him out. So Trout's now 1 for 2. I guess the fans were a little unruly from time to time, throwing stuff around.
I don't know much about hockey, Sean, but I would think scoring on Hasek so early in the series like that should give the Bruins some confidence.
A confidence booster.
Number 30, the second base.
When I call them our Bruins, you know, you and I have purchased the team.
Oh, we did?
We did.
While I was away between innings?
Yeah, I knew you always wanted the Bruins. I don't know how much that would cost, but we're almost all of it short. I can assure you of that. Offerman took a ball, 1-1. Jose lined to center in the first, walked in the third. Was picked off first by Omar Olivares, who has surrendered 5 hits, 2 runs both earned. He has walked 2 and struck out 1. Both Boston runs came in the third. Back-to-back singles by Buford and Nixon to start the inning. Hoffman walked to load the bases. John Valentin a sacrifice fly. Scoring Buford, Nixon went to third. Then Hoffman was picked off, but he stayed in the rundown a long time, and Nixon came in from third during that rundown. Ball 4 high. Hoffman walks for the second time.
Number 13.
69 pitches thrown by Olivares.
John Valentin.
Terry Collins, known as one of the most intense managers in baseball, they say this year he's mellowed out a little bit. He's learned it's a long season. His players have noticed the change. He is making a conscious effort not to have everything seem as though it's life and death. Maybe more the Jimmy Williams approach, who seems to maintain a very even keel. Jimmy's intense, but his demeanor doesn't change very much, win or lose. They're all intense. If you're in that job, doing that for a living, you have to be pretty intense.
A lot of sleepless nights.
Valentin takes a strike.
You basically have no control. You put that lineup out there, the best that you feel you can put out there on that particular day, and then it's up to the players to get the job done. And if they don't get the job done, you lose your job.
Valentin flied to left in the first, had a sacrifice fly to right to knock in the first run of the ball game in the third. Swing and a miss. How much does the manager's personality affect the attitude, the chemistry, the personality of the team?
I think quite a bit, Sean. You look at guys that played for Billy Martin, you know, those old Yankee ball clubs. They seem to take on his personality. People like Lou Piniella. Reggie Jackson, of course, was different, you know, by himself. But, you know, Thurman Munson, those type of players. And I think Jimmy Williams, you know, I think you got it right. He's intense. I think when he needs to say something to players, he'll close that door and he'll let them have it pretty good. But yet that's the end of it, you know.
I think he's got it just about right.
Yeah.
The right blend of when to have the light touches. Swing and a miss. Awkward looking swing by Valentin for strike 3. The second strikeout for Olivares.
I think you hear players say all the time, we just want to be treated like men. Well, that's pretty much the way Jimmy Williams will treat them. Some don't deserve to be, but they certainly do.
But on this team, you'd have to say most of them do. I mean,
oh, yeah.
I think one of the reasons why it has been smooth sailing for Jimmy since he's been here is that he has had a pretty easy club to manage in terms of the personalities. He doesn't have a lot of wackos running around.
I always get a kick out of one where the player will say there's no communication. And that's generally a guy that has been a problem on a ball club, and that's one of the reasons there's no communication.
Reggie Jefferson, the hitter, he waits as Hoffman draws another throw. Olivares aware that Hoffman might try to steal here to get in scoring position.
You take example of a guy like Jeff Fry now, who has not played very much. He's kind of lost his job to Hoffman. They decided they needed more offense. And as upset as he is about not playing, I'm sure he's been in many meetings with Jimmy Williams. He's explained it to him, and I think Fry understands the situation. He'd probably like to play somewhere else, get a chance to play, but he's not going to make a scene about it.
And with another manager, perhaps he would.
That's right.
But I think even though he might not agree with Jimmy's decision in this instance, and he does want to play and thinks he should be playing, out of respect that he has for Jimmy, and he said that many times before he was sent to the bench, and while he's been on the bench, Fry hasn't said anything, and I think that is a great example of the respect that players have for Williams.
It's hard not to like Jimmy Williams. Whether you're in our job, you're playing for him.
If somebody told me they didn't like Jimmy Williams, I would wonder about the person who said it. You can quibble with decisions that he makes within the game as a manager of the team, the way he handles certain situations, and of course that's going to happen with any manager, but there's little doubt that he is a solid guy. One hopper to second, the smash right at Houston. He flipped to Sheets with a force play that ends the inning. The Red Sox leave a runner. They've stranded 4, but with Pedro on the mound, the Red Sox lead 2-0 after 5 at Fenway Park.
Eyes of a puppy dog, lips made for sin. You're not dreaming. I'm for real. We got a call.
Hello.
Louis?
Yeah?
Want to get away? Southwest has your ticket to freedom with Southwest Airlines fun fares that begin at $39.
You are now free to move about the country.
At most clothing stores, the principals are not on the floor selling. At Eastern Clothing, my brother Paul and I are on the floor every day. We know what the customers want, and we try to have it in stock. If for some reason we don't have it, we get it for them. I think the fact that we've been so successful in an out-of-the-way location speaks volumes for Eastern Clothing. We don't get any off-the-street traffic. All our business comes through word of mouth or through our ads. If we didn't cater to our customers and keep them happy, we wouldn't have survived for 50 years.
You got feet that sweat for a living, and you get athlete's foot. Smart guys know comfort comes in yellow. New improved Desinex powder, it gets rid of the fungus and absorbs twice as much moisture as Tenactin. Desinex soothes while it cures for comfortable feet.
5 complete from Fenway. The Red Sox have the 2-0 lead. Well, next Wednesday, May 12th, is discount day at friendly Fenway as the Sox take on the Seattle Mariners. Certain tickets will be discounted by 50% if bought in advance. No discounted tickets will be sold on the day of the game, so get your tickets now by calling 617-482-4SOX.
That's a pretty good deal. Discount day to see Ken Griffey Jr.
Yep.
And the exciting Seattle Mariners. Not quite as exciting without A-Rod, but exciting nonetheless. Pedro's been the story, sharing the billing with the return of Mo Vaughn. If you tuned in late, got a thunderous standing ovation his first time up with a very small smattering of boos. The boos have gotten a little bit louder since then, and Mo's 0 for 2. Struck out in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the fourth. Martinez has struck out 8. He's even now with Vaughn, 1-1. Vaughn, Anderson, Gloss, the 3, 4, 5 hitters due for Anaheim. Mo is trying to low-key his return to Fenway in the days leading up to tonight's game, and also in his comments with the media before the game said he didn't have any gestures planned, didn't want to make any statement, just wanted to come out tonight, get the first ball game out of the way, and get about the business of playing baseball. You remember Roger Clemens when he left the mound after a fine performance for Toronto, staring up at the box of John Harrington. Mo said he isn't going to do anything like that. The fans want another strikeout. The 2-2 pitch, down and in. There's no question, Jerry, the Red Sox offense has missed Mo Vaughn. The Red Sox, for most of this season, have been at or near the bottom of the American League in most of the major categories. He just did get a piece of that one. Some of the fans thought it was a whip, but he fouled it off.
But we felt last year, Sean, that even with Mo Vaughn in the lineup, the Red Sox needed another bat toward the bottom of the lineup, maybe as an outfielder. And of course, Vaughn going as a free agent. The Red Sox inability to sign, not able to sign Bernie Williams, who returned to the Yankees.
Swing and a miss on a changeup. Vaughn strikes out for the second time, and Pedro has 9. He's had at least 9 in every outing this season.
Well, the fans getting into it now. They gave Mo his due in that first at bat, as you mentioned, Sean, and now they're enjoying watching him strike out. Again, it's the changeup. Second time he has struck him out with that changeup tonight.
And Mo, one of the most productive hitters in baseball over the last many years, but he also is annually among the league leaders in strikeouts. Garrett Anderson takes a strike.
You know, you look at Mo Vaughn, Sean, he went from a kid that came to the big leagues, and there was some question whether he could even play in the big leagues. Dropping balls at first base, striking out a lot, turned himself into an MVP, and I think the thing that I respected most about Vaughn is he had no fear at all. And recall some of the meetings with Randy Johnson. You know, most lefties, they went out of there against Randy Johnson. Vaughn took it as a challenge and didn't give an inch.
Yeah, Wade Boggs used to get the Randy Johnson flu, but not Mo. Broke into the major leagues, did Vaughn in 1991 with the Red Sox, and you're right, I'm sure a lot of Red Sox fans have forgotten, but he had struggles at the plate and in the field. Butch Hobson kind of took him under his wing for a little while, tried to keep him positive. Mo broke in 91 in 74 games, hit just 260, hit only 4 home runs in 219 at-bats in the major leagues that year. Anderson has gone to a full count with Martinez. And in 92 and 113 games with the Red Sox, Vaughn hit just 234.
Now, there were a lot of people, scouts, coaches, that didn't think he would make it as a successful player at the big league level at that time.
The payoff pitch. Strikeout number 10 for Pedro. Another changeup. And another Anaheim hitter out in the front foot.
Now that's the hat trick for Anderson in this ball game. Pedro, to me, looks angry on the mound tonight.
Yes, he does.
He looks like, I want this attention tonight. You know, I'm out here and I'm going to strike all these guys out, and I badly want this shutout against the Angels.
You saw it's the 40th career game of 10 strikeouts or more. It's the 5th in a row for Martinez. The fans chanting Pedro, Pedro, appreciating what he's done, perhaps letting Mo Vaughn know as well that they have other players to bestow affection upon. Still wearing the Red Sox uniform. Troy Gloss is struck out and singled to center. And Pedro's 1 strike away from striking out the side. Many of the fans on their feet. The 1-2 pitch. He struck him out. The 11 Ks posted in center field for Martinez. The Red Sox lead 2-0. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the JCS New England Television Network.
But he always brings me a toy from Chicago.
I know, sweetie, but he doesn't have to go through Chicago anymore. He gets to come straight home and play with you.
But I always get a toy when he stops.
But Daddy flies Delta now on all his business trips from Boston.
But they're non-stop!
Of all the airlines in Boston, Delta has the most non-stops to the most places. We think most of you will be pleased. Delta Airlines, non-stop, non-stops.
How about coming over for a beer?
I can't. I'm coloring my hair.
Well, you can color it here.
Well, I have to visit my grandma because she broke her arm.
You could stop by after.
Well, I can't. I have relatives in from Europe.
Well, I hate to see all this Michelob Light go to waste.
There's ordinary beer. Then there's Michelob Light.
Open the door, honey.
Open the door. Open the door.
Beer or Michelob?
Can I help you?
Yes, hi. Can we have... Come on, kids. Mommy's ordering 4 of your new chocolate culottes.
Sure thing. Here you go.
Thanks a lot.
Be quiet, guys. Come on. Sorry about that. You know, kids.
Having a chocolate craving, are we? Try the new Dunkin' Donuts chocolate culotte.
Gabrielle returns to rule the Amazons. They're a threat. An all-new Xenon. Saturday at 7 on WB 56.
2-0 Red Sox heading to the home half of the 6th. On this Friday night at Fenway, Omar Olivares misses down and away to Nomar Garcia-Parra. He's 1 for 2. Nomar singled to center on the first pitch he saw in the second to extend his hitting streak to 10 games. He grounded out to end the 3rd. Pop foul out of play to the right. Walbeck gave chase, no chance, 1-1. Garcia-Parra, O'Leary, and Stanley do up the middle 3rd of the order against Olivares, who has allowed 5 hits and has walked 3. He just missed with that one. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Good sinker there. 2-2.
Well, he's certainly done his job tonight. Only 2 runs now into the 6th inning for Olivares.
Nomar chased one about eye high and fouled it back to the 600 club.
So you say as a hitter, when you're facing a guy like Olivares, make him get the ball up. And sometimes if he gets too high, he's swinging some bad pitches. But you want to try to stay away from that one that's out of the zone low.
2-2. Bounced down to third and booted by Gloss. Well, that'll be the first Anaheim error of the night.
And the 3rd of the season for Troy Gloss down there at third base. You've seen a number of these over the last couple of days. They appear to be routine ground balls, but errors made by infielders. See Gloss looking in that glove. It's a kind of a normal reaction for an infielder. If you don't make the play, you check out the glove.
Yeah, then chew on it. Seemed to be his reaction.
You must have done his World Series game.
I did.
A couple of years ago.
That was the game that went like for 4 months.
That's right.
I missed the Sunday Red Sox game because they're still playing. Jim Parquet, now with the White Sox, was the starting pitcher in that game, a teammate of Troy Gloss at UCLA. O'Leary sends one off the end of the bat. Anderson started back. Now he's charging hard, and it drops right in the triangle among Erstad, Anderson, and Sheets. So the Red Sox with a couple of breaks here in the 6th inning. The error by Gloss. The bloop hit now for O'Leary. His first hit of the night. And it's first and second with nobody out.
Well, as it turned out, the left fielder, Darren Erstad, is the guy that was closest to it, but he had to come a long way to try to make that play. A late break in center field by Anderson. You see that big swing, but it's toward the end of the bat, and he's not even in the picture yet.
Terry Collins out to the mound. Is he going to make a pitching change?
Looks like he took the ball, but I don't believe he was. They're just now getting somebody up in the bullpen.
That would be a tough hook when you yank a guy after an error by the third baseman and a bloop hit on a ball that really should have been caught. And no, he is going to stay with Olivares. Mike Magnanti was the left-hander out there. Six hits for Boston. Here's Mike Stanley, who singled his first time up, flied to right in the 4th. Off the mid of Walbeck, and now 2 men are in scoring position. And the Red Sox catch another break.
An ugly inning so far for the Angels. The error, the bloop, and now a wild pitch. You don't have a guy up there that's going to bunt or sacrifice. This is better. You advance guys to second and third and don't use an out.
Infield in now for the Angels. The 1-0 pitch is low. Did you get the scoring on that? Do you know if that was a wild pitch or pass ball?
I just guessed it was a wild pitch. Yes. I can't imagine it being a pass ball.
Al Levine is the right-hander in the bullpen. The ball low. 3-0 on Stanley with Varitek on deck.
Wouldn't be surprised at all to see Stanley with the green light here, 3-0. A couple of men in scoring position.
This will be pitch number 88 of the night from Olivares. The 3-0 to Stanley. Strike on the corner. They set up inside. The pitch fouled away. Stanley had a good rip at it, but tied up just a bit by it. And the count is full. Olivares could use the strikeout, but he's really not a strikeout pitcher. Two-0 Red Sox. Home half of the 6th. 3-2 pitch. They tried to get out of the way of what would have been ball 4 high. They checked his swing and fouled it off. Red Sox looking for their 2nd straight win. They ended a 3-game losing streak last night with a 3-2 victory over Texas. Another 3-2 to Stanley. Line drive down the left field line, and extra base hit perhaps if he can hurry. At the very least, it'll score 2. They'll hold Stanley to a single, but it knocks in 2, and it's 4-0 Red Sox.
Well, we say this many times, Sean, but that's the guy you want at the plate in those situations, especially with the infield in. Stanley, pretty much a fly ball hitter. And if you lift the ball in that situation, you got to get at least 1. Well, he gets the bonus, the base hit, and gets 2. Stanley will take the fastball on the 3-2 count, hook the ball down that left field line. And that gives the Red Sox now the 4-0 lead. RBIs 11 and 12 on the season for Mike Stanley.
A tough break for Olivares here in the 6th. The error got the damage started. Then the bloop hit, the wild pitch, the single. 2 runs in. Out goes Olivares. In comes the lefty, Mike Magnante. The Red Sox lead 4-0. We'll return to Fenway Park after this.
What do I do?
With a home run from Benito Santiago, leads Cincinnati 2-0. Montreal 2, Houston 1. Vladimir Guerrero an RBI double. Pittsburgh and St. Louis are scoreless in the 3rd. The rest of the action is tonight. Philly at Colorado, Schilling against Thompson, New York at Arizona, Hershiser and Stottlemyre. Atlanta at San Diego, Millwood against Plymouth. Florida trying to end an 8-game losing streak at Los Angeles, and Milwaukee's at San Francisco. And Omar Olivares is in the dugout. Pitched decently, but he's out, and here's the veteran lefty Mike Magnante.
2nd trip through the American League for Magnante. He pitched with the Kansas City Royals for a number of years, was released by the Royals, signed by the Houston Astros, pitched there for the last 2, and signed here by the Angels as a free agent. There is his last outing, coming against the Blue Jays on April the 29th. Pitched an inning in that ball game. His 9th appearance overall of the season.
The switch hitter Veritek will bat from the right side. He's at 176 right-handed this year. Tonight from the left, 1 for 2, a single and a run scored. Magnante's first pitch a strike. 4 runs on 7 hits, an error for Boston. No runs, 5 hits, 1 big error for Anaheim here in the 6th inning. That led to the inning getting off on a big start for the Red Sox. The ball down and in. In the air in center, he got a little bit under that one. Garrett Anderson has it for the first out of the inning. Stanley back to first with 1 down.
Number 2, the center fielder, Damon Buford.
Damon Buford's 1 for 2. He singled and scored in the 3rd. Fly to center to win the 4th. 4-0 Red Sox in the 6th. Magnante missed. Pitch, check swing, and a foul to the screen. Magnante pitching for his native Southern California American League entry. He's from Glendale, California, now lives in Burbank. wonder if he lives in beautiful downtown Burbank.
Right near the studios out there, NBC studios?
Yes. He's 33 years old, 6'1", 185 pounds. Buford lifts it along the line, foul, and out of play. Let's pause for station identification. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the JCS New England television network.
You're watching WLVI WB56, Cambridge, Boston.
One and two, the count on Damon Buford, product of USC, facing another UCLA Bruin. Mike Magnante is a graduate of UCLA in 1988 with a degree in applied math. He's computing his stats as he throws ball two.
Talking about living in Burbank, that's got to be an awful tough commute every day down to Orange County. And
probably, I wonder if he's living right there during the season.
Yeah, that's
that
a
would
tough
be a
ride.
Long, tough trip in all the traffic they have between Los Angeles and Anaheim. The 2-2 in the dirt, and it skips past Walbeck and on to second goes Stanley. So that's the second wild pitch in the inning, one thrown by Olivares and this one by Magnante.
This ball bouncing way out in front of Walbach, the catcher. Up and off the mask or shoulder and all the way back to the backstop.
A full count with one out and Stanley at second. 4-0 Boston in the sixth. Trot Nixon on deck as Buford bounces one just foul. Is that another new attendant down there?
First time I believe we've seen him down at third base. Looks a little bit like Mark Langston.
Yes, he does. I don't know if he's been apprised of the no facial hair policy for the attendants, but looks like he's starting to grow something that may have to come off. And so far he is handling all of his chances very cleanly. Another 3-2 and a cue shot foul past Nixon in the on deck circle. A lot of the Bruins are growing facial hair in the playoffs here.
See, Pat Burns got that hair trimmed up too.
Oh,
real close.
Yes, he did. I'm not one to comment on that subject. Off-speed pitch, pretty well hit to right. Palmeiro drifted back, settled under it, and made the catch. Stanley went back to tag, but won't try it. 2 down now.
That's one there with nobody out, and that catch being the first out, you may want to try it. But now with 2 outs, you're already in scoring position at second base, and you don't want to take any unnecessary chance at third.
Number 7, the right fielder.
2 down, Stanley at second, 4-0 Red Sox. In the 6th inning, here's Trot Nixon, 1-for-2. He singled and scored in the second, or in the third, rather. And he grounded to second on the first pitch he saw from Olivares in the 5th. Magnante dropped down and missed low and away. Magnante was a first-team All-American at UCLA in 1988. No strike, 1-1.
Certain left-handers that have been around a long, long time. Magnante, one of them. You remember him in his days at Kansas City. Tony Fossas.
Yes. You watch them pitch, they don't dazzle you, but they're around a long time, in part just because they're left-handed. Trot pulled it to second. Houston to Vaughn for the out. That ends the inning, but the Red Sox get 2. Helped a lot by the error that started the inning. 4-0 Red Sox after 6 at Fenway Park.
Ah, the possibilities Dodge Caravan opens up. It's a cabin in the woods, complete with heated power recliners. It's your own private ski lodge, or your workshop for building one. It's your place in the sun. complete with guest room and breezeway. Dodge Caravan, the world's most popular home away from home. Now get $1,000 cash allowance or 1.9 financing on Caravan.
Odor eaters' feet are sweeter, fresher, drier, cleaner, neater. Only odor eaters, insole sprays, and powders have genuine Arm & Hammer baking soda. They destroy foot odor and wetness. Odor eaters' feet are sweeter.
Here's the answer to tonight's Big Fence.
Back at Fenway Park and heading for the 7th inning. Mo Vaughn received the advanced billing, but the star of the show has been Pedro Martinez, who struck out the side last inning. First, Mo Vaughn went down swinging. Mo struck out for the second time. He's 0 for 3. Garrett Anderson struck out for the third time. He's 0 for 3. And Troy Gloss whiffed for the second time. He's 1 for 3. Martinez, through 6 innings, has fanned 11. His 5th straight game of 10 strikeouts or more. Meanwhile, the Red Sox scored twice in the 3rd and 2 more in the 6th on a 2-run single by Mike Stanley. Pedro's retired 5 in a row. And over the last 2+ seasons, Pedro Martinez has the best ERA among Major League starters. Better than Maddox and Clemens.
Now batting for
One of the runs scored by the Red Sox in the 6th was earned, the other unearned.
Todd Green.
So in 5+ innings, Olivares allowed 4 runs, 3 earned. Todd Green begins the 7th. Pedro pitching with a 4-0 lead. A very big mountain for the Angels to climb. And Green's already struck out twice. Both times swinging. Orlando Palmeiro on deck, then Andy Sheets. And Pedro has struck out the 11 without issuing a walk. And the 1-1 to Green. Breaking ball looked like Darrell Cousins gave up on that one a bit early. You saw Pedro perhaps in a gesture of exasperation, although it looked more like stretching as it went along. The 2-1 pitch. Perhaps a little bit of anger in that one. 2-2.
You mentioned the walk, Sean, for Pedro. Only 10 walks on the season. To go along with all those strikeouts, what now, 72 or 3 on the season now, strikeouts and 10 walks. Pretty impressive.
Indeed. The 2-2 pitch. Well hit to left. That'll hit the wall off the ladder, and it caroms away from O'Leary. And that makes it an easy double for Green. Had it caromed directly to Troy, it's probably a single for Green. Hit so sharply. Down by 4, unlikely to take the chance. But once it hit the ladder, it was an easy 2-base hit.
Yeah, there are very few places now on that wall where the ball will not play true back to the outfielder. It's either off the scoreboard or off that ladder. That one right off the ladder deflects by Troy O'Leary, and the easy double for Todd Green.
Orlando Palmeiro, the batter. He turned as if to bunt and took a ball low. He slapped a single into center his last time up. Grounded out. Back in the 2nd. Pedro's over 100 pitches, 101. 63 of them strikes. Red Sox in tight at the corners. A bunt and a foul ball.
Angels just trying to get some base runners here. Palmeiro trying to bunt for a base hit.
Todd Green at 2nd after the 2nd extra base hit of the night for the Angels. Both of them have been doubles. 1-1 pitch. Little pop fly and shallow right. The runner is not tagging as Nixon makes the catch. No chance for Green to advance. 1 out.
Well, Pedro jammed him that time. Looked like the cut fastball. Not seen too many of those tonight. They get right in on the hands of Palmeiro. And the pop-up to Trot Nixon out in right field. Looks like the fastball right at the last minute. Little break on it. And gets in on those left-handed hitters. Jams him.
Andy Sheets has struck out twice. He tried to check his swing. He has not had a nice time of it against Pedro. 1 strike on Sheets, who came over to the Angels at the end of spring training in a trade for catcher Phil Nevin, who also played some other positions for the Angels. Sheets spent all of last year as a utility man with San Diego, part of their run to the playoffs.
Probably a deal they had to make to try to get a shortstop. DeSarcina being on the disabled list.
0-2 the count. Sheets trying to avoid whiffing for the 3rd time. Pedro looking for strikeout number 12. A little bit low and away. Pedro's had at least 1 strikeout in every inning except this one. So he needs one to keep that string alive. How about the Rockies scoring in every inning against the Cubs the other day? First time since 1964 that's happened in the Major League game.
What was the time of that game, I wonder?
I don't know. They scored 13 runs. Did a good job of spreading them out. The 1-2 pitch. Strike 3. Number 12 for Martinez. Sheets overmatched for the 3rd time.
Well, 2 guys in the lineup have got the hat trick tonight. Anderson being 1, and now Sheets will add to that list. 3rd time that he has struck out. Challenge time. 93 with the fastball to pick up that punch out. Sounded hard.
Yeah, that's in real time, and that's how much time Sheets had to pull the trigger and make contact. Houston, the batter, 1 for 2. How would you approach Pedro? It's got to be so difficult when you're facing a guy who has a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, the devastating changeup, and the curveball.
Well, the curveball you almost got to forget about, you know, especially if you're a left-handed hitter and you worry about the fastball and the changeup. When the changeup's good, you're not going to hit it even if you're looking for it, so you can only sit on fastball and hope that he makes a mistake with it.
1-1 on Houston, who busted his bat. Red Sox lead 4-0 in the 7th. Trying to get back to the 500 mark.
Now, we've seen Pedro, Sean, over the last couple of years when he has that changeup working where he could walk up to home plate, tell the hitter, I'm going to throw you 3 changeups, and they can't hit it. It's that good.
Oh, what a treat for that young fan.
He looks embarrassed by it all, didn't he? Nice smile. And
came here tonight probably not knowing who Jeff Houston was, and now that's probably his favorite ball player.
Vaughn's teammate.
That's right. 2-1 on Houston. I mentioned the Red Sox trying to get back to the 500 mark tonight. It looks like the whole American League is dancing right around the 500 mark. The exception of the Yankees, who are 18-9, and Cleveland 19-8. Everybody else is just within a few games of 500. The East, Tampa Bay's 2 games over. Toronto's an even 500. The Red Sox 1 under. Baltimore 7 under, but gaining on 500. Chicago's 500. Detroit's 1 under. Kansas City 4 under. Texas is 2 over. Oakland's an even 500. Seattle's 2 under. Anaheim's 3 under. Could be a great wild card race.
Yeah, if the wild card was up for grabs tonight, it'd be a heck of a race.
The fans want lucky strikeout number 13. That would match a season high for Pedro, established in his last outing in Oakland. And Houston fought it off. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Green at second. He started the inning with a double and hasn't budged. Another 2-2 pitch. A little bit low and in. A full count. Darren Erstad on deck. Now the payoff pitch, number 13. Seventh inning stretch. The Red Sox 4 and the Angels nothing.
Flying to Baltimore for business? If these 19 reasons don't convince you to fly Southwest Airlines nonstop to Baltimore, maybe this will. Call 1-800-I-FLY-SWA.
You are now free to move about the country.
These days, at more and more hotels, breakfast is on the house. What's different about our complimentary breakfast is what you have to go through to get it. Embassy Suites, a design for living.
Pep Boys knows how to give you a great deal on tires. They don't run specials on just one size. Pep Boys discounts every size in stock. That means all 35,000-mile tires are 4 for $99. And all 70,000-mile tires are 4 for only $169. Even top-of-the-line 80,000-mile touring tires, all sizes 4 for $199. Call it a bonanza, an extravaganza. It's how you save on tires. Pep Boys.
Cars like us.
People love us. Seventh inning stretch at Fenway. The Red Sox have the 4-0 lead behind some strong pitching by Pedro Martinez. Remind you, this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Boston Red Sox and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and description of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox.
Now batting for the Red Sox, number 30.
Well, Pedro's been disseminating the strikeouts. 13 of them matching his season high set in Oakland last weekend when he struck out 13 in 7 innings. He's done it in 7 innings tonight, but he's likely to continue against the Angels. Offerman trying to find the gap. Base hit. That'll roll to the wall. Jose on his way to second with a leadoff double. On the first pitch thrown by Mike Magnante. First time tonight batting right-handed for Offerman. He has his first hit. He's now hit safely in 24 of the 28 Red Sox games this year.
And he now leads the American League in doubles with 15. He'll move 1 ahead of Troy Glass, the third baseman for the Angels. He's just about even right-handed. 346 before that at bat. Left-handed 353 coming into the game tonight. They're the double leaders in the American League.
Offerman the 3 Gs. Gloss, Green, and Greer. Offerman on base 3 times again tonight with 2 walks and the double. Valentin will try to advance him. The first to throw to second by Magnante. The Red Sox have their 8th hit. The first against Magnante, who came in last inning and retired all 3 men he faced, stranding the runner he inherited from the starter Omar Olivares. Valentin 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly in the third. He was fly to left and struck out. Backdoor strike on the corner. Valentin will be followed by Reggie Jefferson. When a hitter intentionally holds his hands high, as Valentin does, is that for any purpose in particular? Or
no,
just comfort for the hitter?
For a lot of guys that try to stay on top of the baseball, Valentin, pretty much a line drive type hitter, used the wall here a lot, and a lot of guys that hold that bat up high, they want to get on top of the baseball.
Fouled back to the screen, 1-2.
And most guys that you see that hold the bat low have an uppercut swing. And most of the guys that you see hold the bat high above their shoulder have a swing that pretty much starts down then becomes level, and the result of that is usually some line drives.
And pitch just a little bit high.
The other thing that John does that's unusual, the fact that he goes into that crouch on many occasions when the pitcher goes in. And I asked him one time about that. I asked Jim Rice, actually, why he did that. And he said the reason is he tries to generate some power that way. He's not a big guy, not real strong, you know, compared to some of the power hitters around. And
I wouldn't think dropping straight down into a crouch, though, would help generate power. I guess he figures any movement starts the swing. He generated some power there and sends it toward the gap. Played by Palmeiro. Valentin digging for 2. Offerman scores. The Red Sox lead 5-0. And John Valentin has his second RBI of the night.
All players have some kind of trigger at the plate, and that's the trigger for Valentin when he's doing it. That drop down, right there goes to the opposite field. I always said that when John's working the ball from right center field to left, that's when he's hitting the best. He'll exchange places with Offerman. The Red Sox now have the 5-0 lead.
Eight doubles for Valentin. That's the first run charged to Magnante. He's in danger of yielding more with a man in scoring position and nobody out. Reggie Jefferson, the batter. Ball 1 low. Reggie 1 for 3. He singled to center in the third. Action again in the Anaheim bullpen. All quiet in the Boston pen with Martinez dominating the Angel hitters. And the 1-0 is a strike. Sweeping breaking ball missed. There's Al Levine again. He was up last inning.
This may be the last batter for Magnante with Garcia Parra on deck.
Chopper foul. Two and two. Swing and a miss. A big sweeper by Magnante to get Jefferson, the first strikeout for Mike. And as Jerry anticipated, the last batter of the night for Magnante, Terry Collins, on his way to summon Al Levine with Nomar Garcia-Parra coming up. So Magnante pitches an inning and a third, thus far responsible for 1 run on 2 hits, and he's also responsible for Valentin, the runner at second. Al Levine, the new pitcher. When we come back, it's the Red Sox 5 and the Angels nothing.
When it comes to engineering, even the slightest error can dramatically affect performance and lead to trouble down the line. With that in mind, Toyota created Avalon. And from the engine to the interior, this attention to detail is everywhere. Higher quality lowers repair costs and improves reliability. It makes Avalon a better value to begin with and worth more later on. When it's put together properly, it works every day. 1999 Toyota Avalon.
I love my new Toro personal pace self-propel mower so much,
I'm letting my neighbors try it.
Wow, so simple to control. This is unbelievable.
He loves it.
It moves at whatever speed I'm walking, and it's easy backing up, too.
She's hooked.
No speeds to adjust. I want one.
I think they're impressed.
The revolutionary Toro personal pace self-propel mower. It's a whole new way to mow.
Red Sox lead 5-0 as they bat in the bottom of the 7th. Let's update you on the scoreboard. Tampa Bay's lead over Cleveland now 10-3. Apparently another rough outing for Dwight Gooden. Looks like Baltimore is on its way to its 5th straight win. 9-3 the lead over Detroit in the 7th at Tiger Stadium. Toronto leads Texas 7-3. The Yankees have a 3-0 lead over Seattle. The White Sox shutting out Oakland 6-0 in the 4th, and Kansas City is up on Minnesota 3-1 in the 4th inning. Here at Fenway, the new pitcher for Anaheim, the 3rd pitcher of the night following Olivares and Magnante, is Alan Levine.
10th appearance of the season for Levine, a record of 0-0, 1.98 ERA in 13 2/3 innings, 8 hits allowed and 3 earned runs, 5 walks and 7 strikeouts. He formerly with the Chicago White Sox for a brief period of time, also last year with the Texas Rangers, claimed off waivers by the Angels, and now a member of their bullpen. There's his last appearance against one of his former clubs, the White Sox.
He inherits Valentin at second. Here's Nomar. A 10-game hitting streak for Garcia Parra when he singled to center in the 2nd, was grounded out, reached on a Troy Gloss error and scored last inning. Levine's first pitch, a ball. Levine slings it outside. He's 30 years old, 6'3", 180 pounds. Illinois native, now lives in Grand Prairie, Texas, not far from Arlington. As Jerry mentioned, he played for the Rangers last year. He pitched 2 seasons at Southern Illinois University in Carbondale, Illinois. He was a Saluki, and then went on to Harper Junior College. He's thrown 3 straight balls, and now a strike to Garcia Parra. Among Levine's career highlights, when he was in the White Sox organization in '94 at AA Birmingham, he was a teammate of Michael Jordan. In the air and center, he got under it. Anderson the catch. 2 outs. Valentin still at second.
That had to be quite a thrill for a lot of those minor league players to get to spend that season with Michael Jordan at the minor league level. I wonder if how many have remained friends with Jordan throughout the years. Be interesting.
Apparently Michael handled that all very well too, as you would expect. Wasn't a prima donna, rode the buses, behaved just like everybody else. Troy O'Leary, the batter.
And the year that he was in spring training, Sean, they said he was the hardest working guy in camp. He bought that bus, didn't he, for the AA club?
Yes, he did. He probably had a few more comforts than the typical minor league bus. He can afford it. O'Leary singled and scored last inning. He's 1 for 3. Well, that's no surprise, because even though he was, in the opinion of many, the greatest basketball player of all time, he was also an incredibly hard worker. Never rested on his God-given ability, as so many athletes do. 2-1 the count. Troy 3 for his last 3 with men in scoring position. That's the case now with Valentin at second. 1 run in here in the 7th. The Red Sox lead now 5-0. The 2-1 from Al Levine. Ball 3. If O'Leary could extend the inning, Mike Stanley would hit next, and he will, as Troy took ball 4 outside.
Number 24,
That was the 4th walk yielded by an Anaheim pitcher tonight. First and second. And here's Mike Stanley. 2 for 3, including a 2-run single last inning. Ball that hopped off the wall down in the left field corner. Stanley also singled to left. Back in the second. Fastball outside. Check swinging a ball. Sad that the Angels never even made it to the World Series while Gene Autry was still alive, the longtime owner of the Angels, legendary entertainer, the singing cowboy, passed away last October 2nd at age 91. Pop up in foul ground, and that's a couple of rows deep.
He's a guy that loved baseball, Sean. I mean, when a few years back, he would attend just about every Angel game, sit up in the box and visit the clubhouse after the game. Not as much, certainly, when he got a little bit older. Another thing about Mr. Autry is you didn't want to go to a banquet when he was speaking because it would go on for a while. He had those same stories, too.
The Angels are wearing a patch this year in memory of Gene Autry, who was involved with Major League Baseball since 1960. He went to the 1960 winter meetings in St. Louis just trying to get a broadcasting contract for one of his radio stations. He owned several. When he left, he was the owner of the expansion Los Angeles Angels. They moved to Anaheim in 1966.
He used to do a lot of nice things for the players. Remember, at least once a season, he would rent out this golf course and heading down toward Palm Springs, and they'd shut it completely down for the day. He'd have every member of the organization, the players, the front office people down, have one real nice day, you know.
Stanley rips one down the line again, his 3rd hit, and more runs batted in for Mike. Valentin scores. Wendell Kim waves the second runner around. O'Leary is out at the plate. He bowled over Walbeck. A good, hard, clean collision. Walbeck held his ground, held onto the ball, and tagged out O'Leary. But Stanley has another hit and another RBI. And the Red Sox have another run. It's 6-0. After 7 at Fenway Park.
Ah, the possibilities Dodge Caravan opens up. It's a cabin in the woods, complete with heated power recliners. It's your own private ski lodge, or your workshop for building one. It's your place in the sun, complete with guest room and breezeway. Dodge Caravan, the world's most popular home away from home. Now get $1,000 cash allowance or 1.9 financing on Caravan.
You got feet that sweat for a living, and you get athlete's foot. Smart guys know comfort comes in yellow. Desinex. Other guys' feet, they just keep itching and burning, but Desinex Comfort is what keeps you going.
Desinex. Its dual-action formula not only gets rid of athlete's foot fungus, it soothes that itching and burning, surrounding your feet with soothing comfort.
Desinex. Soothes while it cures for comfortable feet.
When your allergies are a nightmare, you need help. You need the power of Zyrtec. Prescription Zyrtec goes to work and lasts 24 hours. In studies, drowsiness was the most common side effect. Others included fatigue and dry mouth. Most were mild or moderate. To learn more, ask your doctor or pharmacist. So when allergies are a nightmare, remember the power of Zyrtec.
2's the magic number for the Red Sox. They scored twice in the 3rd, 6th, and 7th innings, and nearly had another run here in the 7th, but a good relay by the Angels and a good clean play at the plate.
When a hard slide by O'Leary, he tries to knock the ball out of the glove of Walbach, and fortunately for the catcher, he had that ball in time where he could kind of plant and get ready for the collision. Able to hold on to the baseball, get the out, but I think he's a little bit foggy out in that dugout right now. This is seen between innings.
Terry Collins making sure that Wahlbeck's okay. So it's 6-0 Red Sox. They have 10 hits tonight. Pedro Martinez trying to finish off a shutout as he faces the top of the Anaheim order here in the 8th. Darren Erstad took ball 1 inside. He doubled in the first. Hasn't had it out of the infield since. 1 for 3. Strike at the knees. 1-1. Erstad. Wahlbeck scheduled to bat next. And it doesn't appear that he will. Charlie O'Brien is in the on-deck circle. And then Mo Vaughn. Changeup. And Erstad out ahead of it. Pedro's had a terrific changeup tonight, and he's 1 strike away from his season high 14th strikeout. He's matched his season best with 13 tonight. He struck out the last 2 batters last inning, trying to make it 3 in a row. And 6 of the last 8. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Now the 2-2. He struck him out. 14 for Martinez.
Well, they've come in bunches. Sushan had 4 in a row in the early part of the game. Twice now, 3 in a row. Struck out the side in the 6th. This is 3 in a row. High fastball that time. They needed plenty of those Ks coming to the park tonight.
Yeah, you wonder how they know how many to bring.
To be safe, bring 20.
That's right. And yet the feeling the way Pedro's going this year, some night he may challenge that number. Charlie O'Brien pinch hitting for Wahlbeck, who apparently is unable to continue after the collision. Charlie's probably wondering, what did I do to deserve this? Come off the bench after sitting there all night and have to face Pedro on top of his game. Pedro's tied his career high with 14. O'Brien did a great job. They got a piece of that hard one. Pedro also struck out 14 Tigers while with Montreal June 14th of '97. Fans, many of them on their feet. The 0-2. Whistling fastball just outside. He struck him out.
Can you imagine what this is going to sound like if he's able to strike Vaughn out in this at bat?
Now Vaughn. Ball 1 outside. Mo has already fanned twice. He's 0 for 3. Pedro struck out 4 in a row. A new career high with 15 strikeouts. All but one of them swinging 3rd strikes. No 1-0 to Vaughn. And a ball hit in the air. Pretty well hit. But Buford is there. And he makes the catch just shy of the warning track. Another 1-2-3 inning for Martinez. We head to the home half of the 8th. The Red Sox lead 6-0. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the JCS New England Television Network.
But he always brings me a toy from Chicago.
I know, sweetie, but he doesn't have to go through Chicago anymore. He gets to come straight home and play with you.
But I always get a toy when he stops.
But Daddy flies Delta now on all his business trips from Boston.
But they're non-stop!
Of all the airlines in Boston, Delta has the most nonstops to the most places. We think most of you will be pleased. Delta Airlines. Non-stop, non-stops.
Stock market was mixed today with pharmaceutical companies.
Penzac's up 18.
Technology stocks.
Something's going on.
Some on Wall
You
Street
guys investors? Can you get us some peanuts or something? You ever use that Discover brokerage online? Nuts.
In other news, bartender Jack McGee purchased a Penzak company in a deal worth $43 billion. McGee says he has no plans to quit bartending, but will continue
No charge for the nuts.
financial empire, which includes...
I've been eating breakfast at McDonald's for years, and you know, they still find ways to surprise me.
You get more for the money.
McDonald's introduces 3 exciting new bagel sandwiches. The delicious steak, egg, and cheese, hearty ham and cheese, or zesty Spanish omelet. They're baked fresh every day. So come see how McDonald's makes breakfast more irresistible.
You get more for the money, more for the money, 'cause McDonald's treats you right. Did somebody say McDonald's?
Tonight we'll show you what your mother definitely does not want for Mother's Day. And Mo Vaughn returns to Boston. Wait until you see his reunion with a very special fan. Join us tonight at 10.
For the Red Sox, number 46.
Well, what started out as Mo Vaughn's night at Fenway has become Pedro Martinez's evening at the ballpark. Charlie O'Brien stays in to catch after pinch hitting for Walbeck in the top of this inning, the 8th. 6-0 Boston. Alan Levine to Jason Varitek. Strike one in the corner. Looks like Pedro's night might be over. Varitek's 0 for 2 with a walk. There's action in the bullpen, and Martinez has thrown 126 pitches. And he was accepting all kinds of congratulations in the dugout. With a 6-run lead, and with your ace over 125 pitches, it would seem a good idea to go to the bullpen.
That was nice to see, too, as we look at our new closer for at least the time being. Tim Wakefield closed the game last night. But nice to see Pedro. Congratulations, Varitek, on a nice job that he did behind the plate tonight.
And he has done a terrific job. He strikes out here, 1 out in the 8th.
Number 2, the center fielder, Damon Buford.
First strikeout for Levine. Here's Damon Buford. 1 for 3. He singled and scored the first run of the night back in the 3rd. Strike on the outside corner. On the ground is short. Sheets to Vaughn for the out.
You know, we talked about it. You actually brought it up earlier in the game, how it's almost like Pedro was mad in this game tonight. And he took all the fans that came here to see Vaughn and turned that thing into Pedro night.
Mo 0 for 4 in his return to Fenway, as the Angels have managed just 6 hits in 8 innings against Martinez. Trot Nixon 1 for 3. He singled and scored back in the 3rd. An infield hit off the glove of the pitcher. That's past the glove of the pitcher. Gobbled up by Sheets. And the hustling Nixon out by a running step. The Red Sox go in order. And we head to the 9th. Tim Wakefield coming in, trying to finish off the Angels. It's 6-0 Red Sox.
Want to get away? Southwest has your ticket to freedom with Southwest Airlines fun fares that begin at $39.
You are now free to move about the country.
Call it a bonanza, an extravaganza. It's how you save on tires. Now at Pep Boys, all 35,000-mile tires are 4 for only $99, and all 70,000-mile tires 4 for $169.
Pep Boys. Cars like us. People love us.
Nothing tops ice cream better than Hershey's chocolate syrup. So feel free to pour it on. But do watch out for those cherries.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Now
Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places and do things you never thought possible. Fly Southwest Airlines. And by your friendly Dodge dealer. From cars to minivans to trucks, it's about change the new Dodge. Back at Fenway, where the fans booed loudly as Tim Wakefield came out of the bullpen, not because it's Tim Wakefield, but because they wanted to see Pedro finish. He's been the star of the show. They wanted to see him go the distance. But here's Wakefield, with Jimmy Williams doing the prudent thing, if not the crowd-pleasing thing.
2/3 of an inning for Wakefield last night to finish that game, pick up his first career save against the Texas Rangers. As I mentioned, Sean, this pretty much means that Pena will start tomorrow. Wakefield will get his next start when Saberhagen's turn rolls around. And until that time, probably till Sunday, he'll work out of the bullpen for the Red Sox.
One of the nice things about having Wakefield on the staff, his arm bounces back so quickly he can alternate back and forth. He starts out with a fastball, 72-mile-per-hour heater, and it was low. To Garrett Anderson, who is delighted that Martinez is no longer in there. Another get-me-over fastball, 1-1. Anderson struck out 3 times against Martinez. Pedro went 8 innings and allowed no runs, 6 hits, no walks, and 15 strikeouts. To center field, Buford. 1 out.
Well, in his new role now as closer, nothing but hard fastballs from Wakefield to Garrett Anderson. 3 straight fastballs.
Rushing up there at about 72, 73 miles per hour. Interesting that his knuckleball is almost as fast as the fastball. He can get his knuckleball up there in the high 60s. Troy Gloss 1 for 3. He was victimized twice by Martinez with the strikeout. Every Angel starter except Wahlbeck and Palmeiro struck out at least once. Wahlbeck's stand-in O'Brien struck out in his spot in the batting order. 2-1. Wakefield admitted he was a little nervous last night. Unaccustomed to being a closer, kind of enjoyed being out there at the end with the ball game on the line and getting the handshakes and back slaps when he saved it. For Real Cormier, chopped on the left side and kicked by Garcia Parra. Nomar trying to charge it, commits the second Red Sox error of the night.
Well, we get kind of spoiled when we see that kind of ground ball heading toward shortstop because most of the time it's going to be a definite out at first base. Nomar picks up his second error of the season. Just didn't get the glove down quite far enough. Well, the life has gone out of the place since Martinez left the game.
And a lot of the fans have gone out as well. They were hanging around to see if Pedro would finish. Swing and a miss by Todd Green. It got past Veritek, but down by 6. Gloss, who's not a fast runner, wasn't going to try it.
I'll bet you if this was a 1-0 game, Pedro would probably still be in there. But
I think you're right.
With a 6-0 lead, 126 pitches, I think absolutely the right move.
One strike on the DH Green, who is 1 for 3, a double in the 7th. That was the last hit for Anaheim. He was the last man to reach base against Martinez. Pedro finished the night retiring the last 6 that he faced. Lost back to first after the foul ball, 0-2. Swing and a miss at the knuckleball. Green strikes out. And the Red Sox are 1 out away from victory.
Now, this is the type of thing that could turn Wakefield around. He's had struggles recently as a starter, a couple appearances out of the bullpen, and sometimes if you have success in this role, it carries right over to his starts. Not that for contrast in style, though. You've got to face Martinez's 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and in your final at bat, face the knuckleball.
Orlando Palmeiro takes a strike. 1 for 3, single to center, and did not strike out among the 15 Ks for Martinez. Ball inside. Ball and a strike. Valentin in on the grass at third. Palmeiro a frequent bunter. 6-0 Red Sox with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Swing and a foul tip, says Darryl Cousins. Veritek went after it, uncertain if Palmeiro had foul tipped it or not. But now the Red Sox are 1 strike away from victory. A strikeout would be a fitting conclusion. Wakefield and Martinez have combined for 16. The 1-2 pitch. He struck him out. 17 strikeouts as Martinez and Wakefield combine on a 6-hit shutout. Well, a big night for the folks posting the Ks in center field. 17 strikeouts, only one of them a called third strike. And Jimmy Williams and the Red Sox, by virtue of 2 straight wins, are back to the 500 mark for the year with a record of 14-14. The final score, the Red Sox 6 and the Angels nothing. We'll return with the totals and much more from Fenway Park right after this.
Over the years, a lot of businesses have put their names on one line of trucks, the one that's overall the most powerful line of pickups on the road, the one that was first to offer quad cab versatility, and the first and only full-size pickup to receive J.D. Power & Associates' Most Appealing Award 4 years running. We understand this name thing. We're pretty fussy about what we put ours on, too. Dodge Ram. The rules have changed.
You're staying in Suite 806. You're feeling pretty good. Maybe it's because you have a living room and a bedroom. Or maybe it's because when you open the door to leave 806, you're met by something other than the door to 807. Embassy Suites, a design for living.
We know a lot of you want to look before you leap, so we built Gateway Country Stores, where the computers are working, online, and yours to try. Visit our stores or call 1-800-GATEWAY. Get a Gateway Essential PC with an Intel Celeron processor for as low as $28 a month.
New grill guard, Steve? I like it.
Thanks, Sally. I got it at Pep Boys. Hey, Sally, how about my chrome rims? Step bars, bug shield, tires, and wheels. Hey, Sally, hear that? Performance exhaust.
Love accessories? Pep Boys has thousands of them to improve your vehicle, if not your luck.
Hey, Sally! Sally!
Sally moved. Hey, nice tow hitch.
Pep Boys.
Cars like us. People love us.
From WB56, the home of Red Sox baseball, it's WB56 postgame.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to this special Red Sox postgame show. I'm Mike Rattay. Frank Malakote will join us live from Fenway Park in just a few. Now, the long-anticipated return of Mo Vaughn to Fenway. He left for much greener pastures in Anaheim. Tonight, Mo was back in Boston facing his former team, and as expected, his first trip to the plate, the former fan favorite got a standing ovation. Listen.